Shalom, friends, and welcome back to this week's installation of a Bisseleh Torah. We are just coming out of the festival of Pesach, which is one of the most widely observed holidays on the Jewish calendar by those who are deeply religious and by those who are only tangentially connected, religiously, spiritually, to their moorings. And Pesach is a very compelling holiday. And what do we learn about Pesach? Well, we know the story well. The story is all about the exodus from Egypt. It's about God's hand delivering the Jewish people from slavery and delivering them into freedom. It's a very compelling story about behavior in this world, how God impacts this world. More importantly, God is intimately involved with the redemption process. We read in the Haggadah, Ani v'lo malach, I am not an angel, not a seraph, not by any other agency, but I alone, God, am responsible for taking you out of Egypt. This kind of intimate relationship with the Jewish people is something that has its seedlings in the earliest parts of Genesis, where God is all and God is intimate, with Adam and Eve very heavily involved in their lives, directing them about the fruit and ultimately giving them clothes. God is very involved with Noah, saving him from the deluge and from the hands that would tear at him from the people that lived a desperate life all around him. And then Abraham was similarly so, and then Isaac. But as we go through the generations, God gets less and less involved up until the time of the Exodus, when God again intervenes dramatically in the lives of our people in order to set them free from the terrible grip of Pharaoh. Where is God now? That's a question that we should be asking, especially during the holiday of Pesach. If we haven't yet asked it, it's time. Where is God now? God is not as heavily involved in our lives as the stories that we read in the Torah portrayed. So again, where is God now? One of the lessons that comes out of the Talmud that attempts to teach us a new paradigm of relationship with God is that God is your friend. And it says that in Chagiga, in the Talmud. God is a friend. A friend is not somebody necessarily that is always there intervening in your life, but is someone there that you can depend upon when the need arises and you seek them out, which then becomes the projection of how we connect with God now and the time after the Exodus, when God's hand is not so readily perceivable in evidence in our lives today. We don't see God parting waters. We don't see God cracking open the heavens to deliver a new word to the people after Mount Sinai. Those voices fall silent. Now it comes to us to find God in our lives. We become the seekers. God sought us long enough to make us partners in the creative processes, and now leaves us to pick it up ourselves to find our own way and to find our own way back to our Maker as well. This is one of the things that is a gift to us. For many, it becomes an unfathomable challenge. How do we find God? One of the pathways to find God is imitation. So one of the things that we find when we read the Torah through particularly the lens of understanding what our task is God clothes Adam and Eve. Your responsibility is to clothe those people who are naked. And God feeds and nourishes and saves those people who are in desperate straits, whether it be Noah or Abraham. Our job is to save people, to deliver them out of the hand of danger. Our job is to feed as well, to nourish those people who are hungry. We take an understanding from God's direction to Abraham. And when Abraham intercedes with God to save at Sodom and Gomorrah, that becomes to our charge. How willing are we to step out of our comfort zone to make sure that we speak up for those who cannot speak up or don't speak up for themselves? This is the way to find God in our lives. And of course, trafficking in one of the most difficult endeavors, challenging endeavors, and one of the most rewarding things in our life is simply to daven, to pray. And I would leave you with a single question. A question that I've asked of many people through the course of my rabbinate. Have you ever had an experience of God so sublime that it left you speechless or in tears? Have you ever had a moment when you feel like you were touched by the hand of God? I've yet to meet a person that has said to me, no, I've never had that experience. Everyone's experience is unique and different, but God's voice still reaches out to us, in effect, to try to find a partner. The question is, are we reciprocating? Shabbat Shalom.